Hi everyone. Sorry, there has been some technical glitch. Uh, so that's sorted out. Hridesh is going to join in quite pretty soon. Apologies for this technical glitch. Harry's just joining in. Harry, you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
Cool. So yeah, I think we're already at 3:05. Maybe we should just start now. So thanks everyone for joining in on a Friday evening, especially post lunch. I know normally we are all a little lazy around this time, but I hope this session is going to be useful, and a lot of our customers have started getting benefit out of it, and we have seen recently this WhatsApp messaging failure being a core issue. To get you some numbers, like if I'll talk about last 5 months, 40% of our support volume is about the messaging getting failed, why it is happening, how it can be solved. And if you also have a similar experience in the last few months, this session is going to be very, very, very useful. Uh, Going forward, let me just introduce myself. I'm Himanshu. I'm one of the co-founders at QuickReply. So we are a WhatsApp marketing automation platform and trusted by more than 600 brands. We serve into India, Southeast Asia, Middle East. Also, we have some 100 customers in US and Europe as well. So today with me, I brought in my colleague, friend, and CTO, Hridesh. We call him Harry. Harry has been instrumental in helping us recover more than 50% of the field messages. So Harry, can you just take a moment and introduce yourself to the audience?
Thanks, Himanshu. So it's
Harry,
great to be here and discussing with you. So I am Hridesh. I am also one of the co-founder and CTO of the QuickReply. Here in this webinar today, I will be sharing on my learnings, like how we have started getting message failure and how we have got the learning and how we have created the solution, how we can solve the issues which other customers are facing. So it's great to be here. Thanks to the organizers for organizing this event very well. And thanks to all the members who have joined and who are hearing us.
Perfect. Thanks. We are glad to have you here. Now, before moving forward, I would like to just understand from our audience, how serious is the problem for them. So I'm gonna start a poll, and all of you guys will get a question. Would request you to vote in so that we can just understand and establish the fact that all of us have been into the same boat and have had suffered from this messaging failure. So there will be a poll into the chat window. Will request you to just fill it out. I'm just waiting for a couple of seconds more, letting people have some time to fill out the form. Cool, great. I think I have most of the vote here. Okay, yeah, more people are adding on. Interesting. So I'll just share the results as well, but I can show you what I can see right now is around 66% people, they have seen more than 40% of the failures in messaging. And that's true. Like I told you, 40% of our support volume have seen this. So you probably can see the results right now. 66% people have seen 40% failure. That means 40% of your cohort didn't work for last 3-4 months, and that's strange. Also, like another question which I had in my mind, like, was there any revenue impact for you guys? And I'm just sending you one more poll. Just wanted to understand, when messaging failure, did it have an impact on your revenue? And how much of a revenue impact do you think you had? Guys, just waiting for a couple of seconds. This is important for us to establish the kind of impact the messaging would have had in the audience which we have currently here. Okay. So if you could see, around 40% of the people had 20 to 50% revenue impact. And even if I take the lower number, like 20% revenue impact, that's huge. Like if any company is doing a revenue of, let's say, $1 million, around 200K USD sort of an impact we're talking about. And that's why it is important that we address this issue. And for that reason, we are here. I'll just share my screen because we have a presentation to help us. Harry, I wanted to take your help to understand what actually happened in the last few months. Can you just take us through the entire journey?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Himanshu. What happened one fine day in like exactly 6th of February?
Harry, we are losing you in between.
Again, like while we were understanding the impact of this problem, again on 13th of February, suddenly the failure rate further increased. So then at that time, like we were prepared for it. So we were already finding certain solutions. We were analyzing what went wrong, why things are happening. And now we are sitting here today. So today I'm going to share you the solutions we have created, and it can help you recover 80% of those failures.
Okay. Interesting. And can you help us understand what actually happened? Like, why did Meta do this?
Okay, sure. So as you see, this is not a new thing. Meta has been doing such kind of experiments since long. So earlier we were getting few messaging failures. So we were getting occasionally like 1 to 2% messages failed with the error saying user is part of the experiment. So that means Meta is preparing for this particular event since maybe 1 year or since maybe even more. And now once they have enough data, they have implemented this solution. So
Okay.
why they are clamping this down? Why they are impacting the delivery? So initially, like when WhatsApp was launched in early like 2020 or prior to that, very few businesses were using WhatsApp Business API, and they were sending messages. But as WhatsApp opened more API and they made it available for the marketing, suddenly a lot of businesses started using WhatsApp Business API. So so this impacted, I mean, this was like while growing up use WhatsApp revenue, but at the same time users were getting frustrated because they were getting bombarded with lots and lots of messages from different brands. So as you can see in these screenshots, users are getting messages just from the brands and there are no personal messages. So users are using WhatsApp just because of their personal connect. WhatsApp is into their personal space and they are talking to their friends and family. But if suddenly lots of brands are there on the WhatsApp and friends and family is not there, user will find other channels. They will try to find something else. So WhatsApp want to make the user experience very, very good. So they are very serious about it. So that's why they want to limit on how many brands can reach out to a particular user in a day.
But why did they put a limit on a per user uh, rather than a brand? Like, why the limit is not on the brand? Like, why did that happen?
Okay. Okay. So it is there on the brand also. It is not that it's not there on the brand. So those who are using this WhatsApp channel for the marketing, they know that when you onboard your number on the WhatsApp, you start with 1,000 messages per day, 1,000 conversations per day limit. And slowly, as you deliver more and more high quality messages and there are no spam reports, your limit increases to 10,000, 1 lakh, and unlimited. So WhatsApp has always had this limit, and they had this hypothesis that this limit will work and they don't have to take further actions. But that limit was not enough. So then WhatsApp enabled the template pausing, where what happens if certain template is getting reported by many users, it will be paused by WhatsApp, even though brand is delivering other high quality templates and limit is high. Similarly, this was also not enough. So then they introduced the template pacing, where if you are, let's say, sending 1 lakh messages to users, uh, they will not deliver all those 1 lakh messages at the blink of eye, but they will deliver it to certain very small number of users. They will see their results, and based on that, they will either pause the deliveries or they will further pace up the deliveries. So they have introduced this, but all these things were not enough. So finally, they have introduced this user level capping, where user is limited to a particular number of brands they are receiving messages.
But I think it's good in a way. If we look at 2023, towards the end of it, post Diwali and pre New Year, a lot of brands were messaging everyone. And what we had observed is the revenues, like the ROIs on WhatsApp messaging, they were on a decline. If I compare 2022, when fewer brands were sending messages, the ROIs were higher. 2023, the ROIs were on a decline. And now I've started again seeing that ROI is coming up. So I think it's a good move that, okay, yeah, I understand you are not able to reach out to 100% of the people, but to the 50% of the people you're reaching out, and whatever spends you're doing on Meta, that probably will be more effective. I mean, I get that, and but yeah, I think it will be better if we have a higher delivery and this sort of a higher ROI, right? So, Harry,
Mhm.
like you talk to Meta and their product team a lot. What do they recommend? Like, do you have any insights from there?
Yes, definitely. So I have gone into the details about their recommendation, and in fact, this is no secret. It is available in the public, so anyone can go to Meta's documentation and can see what they recommend. So they have a very, very simple recommendation. If message fails, retry after some time. If it still fails, again retry, but take a little more time. And again, if it is failing, then take some more time. So for example, if you send a message and it fails, maybe retry after 12 hours. And again, if it fails, then again retry after 24 hours, not 12 hours. And again, if it fails, maybe take, let's say, 1.5 days. So this is what Meta recommends.
Okay. And do you see people using it, or people use some other solutions? I mean, I think let's do one thing. Let's ask our audience, how are they managing? Are they using this sort of an automation? So, guys, I'm just sending out a new a poll where I'm just trying to understand what are you doing right now, and then maybe we'll discuss what we have seen other brands doing. So,
Yeah,
just
and
yeah. So I've just
uh,
put a poll to you guys. Can you just take a moment and fill out what are you doing right now to combat this messaging failure?
and Himanshu, I think you talk to a lot of customers. So have you, I mean, what is your feedback on what other brands are using to combat this thing? Like what kind of strategies they are trying to use to recover the failures?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, I talk to brands a lot, and I prepare this small, sort of a slide on sharing what sort of a solutions we have seen people trying. So, one is very common one, which I can see 50% of our audience is also doing. They retry with a follow-up broadcast. So, they download the failed messages and then put them into a new broadcast and send it out. And if I have to talk about the effectiveness of this, it is effective, no doubt. But I have seen brands not doing it religiously. Like you just mentioned, Meta recommends retry in incremental times, until delivered.
Hmm.
But most of the
So what do
people,
you think? What do you think? Why they are not able to do it if Meta recommends it?
I think because it requires a manual effort. Humans, like as humans, I can tell my team, go retry once, retry two, second time, third time. It's laborious, it's mundane, and a lot of time, like the other priorities comes up. We as humans are restricted, we have limited time and bandwidth. So though meta recommendation is good, and I can see some audience doing it, but unfortunately, it's not a practical approach. The other
So
approach,
what are the other solutions people are using?
yeah. So the other approaches which I've seen is like people resorting to using utility messages. Like instead of promotional, they have moved. They try to get a utility template approved, and in that they compromise on messaging content. They compromise on the offer. They compromise on the CTA button. I think most of us here are marketers, and all of us are very, very serious about what creative we are using in our campaign, what messaging we are going, what is the offer, what is the CTA. Now, if you strip apart everything and just ensure that your message is sent in a very utility sort of a format, that actually destroys the entire objective of the campaign. Yes, you might have 100% delivery, but you would have gotten conversions way worse than what you would have done with 50% of promotional messages sent. So this strategy looks lame. On the other front, it also deteriorates a brand's image. Like look at this message which I got from a brand. There's nothing in this message. For me, a brand's image like reduced from here to here when they started sending messages like this.
And I think this is also very risky. I mean, apart from that, all the brand image, if Meta detects that you are using utility messages to send promotional messages, and there might be some adverse impact on the business as well.
No, absolutely. We have seen a lot of brands seeing temporary, number restrictions. In fact, one of the brands got permanently banned. Their Facebook Business Manager is banned because they were misusing it. This is an abuse, right? That's why like Meta blocked their business messaging. We don't recommend it at all. Lastly, I think the third way which we have seen brands using or working on this failures is resorting to alternative channels. Like if WhatsApp fails, they'll send a SMS. If that fails, they'll send an email. Now, this strategy definitely is a bit better than the other two. But unfortunately, the difference which comes up using this strategy is not much because, anyways, like email and SMS were a low ROI channel, and that's why people were moving to WhatsApp. Also, a lot of our customers send out a multi-channel campaign, so they'll send out, the entire cohort. They'll reach out on WhatsApp, then they'll also reach out to the entire cohort on SMS, same on email. So for them, this strategy doesn't work because SMS email were already a part of their entire scene. So Harry,
Okay.
these were the solutions people were using, but like we
Hmm.
at QuickReply have developed something. Can you help us understand what you have developed and what made you bring out an automation solution to deliver more WhatsApp messages?
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, at Quick Reply, we are working with 600 plus brands all over India and like even There are businesses from Middle East, from USA, from Singapore. So we are working with businesses from all over the world, and we are delivering 5 million messages every month. So in last 4-5 months, we have delivered around 25 million messages. So we have this huge volume of data, and this data gave us power, and we were able to analyze how we can find the solution. So the solution lies in this historical data of those 25 million deliveries. So we have categorized and divided this data into different ways. Firstly, we try to analyze on what hour, on what day of the week, what are the deliveries. So as you see in the first graph, we are trying to analyze whether, let's say on the Friday evening, what are the delivery trends? What are the delivery trends on the Friday morning? What are the delivery trends on the weekends? What are delivery trends on the Monday? So we are trying to analyze delivery trends on different days of the week, different times of the week. But this is not the single parameter. The delivery rates also depend on how big of the volume campaign you are running. So we have also analyzed that thing as well. So as you see in the graph at the bottom, we are trying to analyze how delivery rates impacted with the size of your campaign. So if your campaign size is 1 lakh users and 5 lakh users versus if it is just 5,000 users. So using these past trends, we try to analyze. And secondly, I mean, the past data is not just enough. Because we are going to send messages in the future, so we also have to predict the future. So to do that, we also analyze what kind of messages are going in the future, and we know because businesses use our platform to schedule messages in the future. So we know the past behavior. We also know how you are going to deliver messages in the future. So this is just so massive data that we are not able to analyze manually. So we have created an ML model which ingests all this data, and then the ML model recommends what is the best time to send messages and what could be the batch size, how many users you should try like to send messages.
Harry, this, I'm a techie, so I could probably understand what you're following. Is it right if I will say it is very similar to how Google Maps predicts how much time will you take from going from A to B at a certain time of the day? I mean, are you using a similar sort of
yes
strategy?
Yes, exactly. This strategy is used like in many places. Google Maps is like one of the very prominent example, which everyone is using on the day-to-day basis. So as you see in the traffic, if there is a traffic, Google will know from the past behavior. So Google Maps is not just predicting based on the current trends, based on the current traffic, but they also know from the past data in this particular traffic how much time it takes from point A to B. So they use the combination of past data and present condition to predict the future, how much time you are going to take. And even it may not be 100% accurate, but if it is 90% accurate, 95% accurate, you are very satisfied. If Google says it will take 1 hour and you take 55 minutes or 65 minutes, for you it is working.
Perfect. But can you just probably in this entire graphs and data thing, can you simplify it for our audience so that they can understand what exactly is happening in the backend?
Okay, sure. So Himanshu, can you please go to the next slide? Yeah. So this is a very simplified approach. So as you see in the previous slide, like it was a bit of complex for our audience to understand. So we have created a very simple model for our audience to understand. So as we detect the delivery failures tells us what kind of failure rates are there. This data goes to a machine learning model, and machine learning model will predict based on all other customers' delivery data and based on the future scheduled deliveries. It will try to predict what time we need to retry these messages and what will be the batch size. So let's say if you are running a batch of 1 lakh users and out of 1 lakh, let's say 50,000 failed. How many out of 50,000, how many we should retry? Should we retry with just maybe 1,000 or maybe we should try with 10,000? So ML model will tell us the time of retry and the batch size. this data will go into our scheduler, and our scheduler will just try to deliver those messages into the WhatsApp. When this scheduler is running, we are getting a real-time feedback about how are the current deliveries. So because whatever machine learning model has predicted, that might not be true at that particular time. So we give that feedback to the machine learning model. These are the current delivery rates. And if the delivery rates are very, very good, the machine learning model will try to pace up and will even increase the batch size. Versus if messages are still failing, they will
This sounds
try
interesting.
to, yeah. Yeah, so then machine learning model will try to back off and it will maybe try sometime in future.
Great. But Harry, I understood the entire philosophy behind it, how things are working. But for a marketer, how easy or difficult is it to set up?
So in fact, it is very, very simple. And for marketers, we have created a so simple interface that you just need a click of few buttons. So as earlier you were specifying what time you want to run the broadcast, that is still there. Now we just need few additional parameters. So if we don't ask anything, the machine learning model will keep retrying and keep retrying until it has a very, very good delivery rate. But as a marketer, you might have some limitation. For example, Independence Day is coming next month, and you might start running your independence campaign from the 10th of August. But you will certainly not want to retry those messages on 16th of August because then Independence Day is already over, so your offer code might not be valid at all. So we just ask those preferences till what time you want to retry and what are your timing preferences. Maybe you want to deliver your messages in the evening, or maybe you want to deliver in the morning, or maybe you don't want to deliver at midnight like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So we just ask those simple preferences, and based on that, our model is able to take care of everything else.
So you're saying when I'm scheduling my broadcast, I just have to do these three entries. Is that so?
Yes, exactly. And rest all everything is taken care by us, our platform. So you don't have to think about how internally it is working and how it is working. And you
Okay.
don't even have to do a manual retries. You are already scheduling your broadcast, so just at that particular time you need to add few more settings, and platform will work automatically until it delivers all messages.
That sounds quite easy to use. I mean, it's simpler than probably creating a calendar invite.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
right. So, Harry, I understood, this AI thing, ML is predicting and sending messages. But what happens, or what are the options for the branch? The branch which probably want a more control on when the messages go. Like in the retry also. So, there are fewer brands which work with us, and they're into this healthcare, yoga, morning sort of an exercise routine. Their messages make sense if they deliver at a certain time, but not like the timing is not the question. Timing is fixed for them. What are the options for them?
So yeah, for that we have a manual retry as well. So here in the manual retry, you can add your retries that you want to send a retry one at this particular time, retry two at this particular time. This is the delay you want to add. So if the timing is critical for you, or if you are more comfortable with this, then you can use our manual retry mechanism. So in this, like what happens instead of retrying particular batch size, we tend to retry all messages which are failed, which might be good for smaller brands when your batch size is maybe 10,000 or maybe 50,000 for a smaller broadcast. This might be good. It might work as well. But if your broadcast size is bigger, we will recommend using automated option.
I have this question about in your AI model, why don't you try the entire batch size and why a smaller size?
Okay, this is a good question. So I think at first we were also retrying entire batch, and that is what very intuitive to us. But what happens when we are making those API calls, when we are instructing WhatsApp to deliver those messages? WhatsApp knows that in past there were a lot of failures, and we keep sending them messages. So this will impact our numbers health, which might go down, or they might also pause or blacklist our number. So that's why it is important to only send high quality messages, and when deliveries are good, then only send everything else.
So you're saying that retrying could result into a higher failure rate. So that's why a smaller batch size, which is sent to AI to try first, see if their deliveries are happening, and then to increase. If deliveries are not happening, then reduce the volume. I mean, does the model adapt? Is my understanding correct?
Yes, exactly. So that's what I have explained, that model will try to take a small batch size, it will try to deliver. And if the deliveries are good, then it will increase the batch size and deliver further. If deliveries are not good, it will back off and it will try after some time.
Perfect. This sounds interesting, but can you help me understand that what sort of recoveries I can expect via this just 30-second setup?
So in past few months, we have worked with a couple of brands, and these are the results we have seen. So there is one of the brand, Isaac Luke's, which is like beauty. They are into beauty segment, skin treatment. So their customers are like premium customers. So their numbers might not be available freely in a lot of places. So they have seen a good recovery rate of 50%. So that means if X number of messages fail, 50% were recovered by using this mechanism. Whereas there is another brand, Jinky Pastries, which are like selling pastries, which is quite common, and these users are not a premium users. So their numbers might be available, like a lot of brands might be having their numbers. So they have seen 37% recovery rate. So recovery rate depends on kind of user, the kind of brand, and it depends on a lot of the parameters. But these are some of the early results which are very promising.
But I think quite interesting if, let's say, in our poll, 60% people had 40% failure rate. So if I'll do the numbers, out of 100 people, 40 people were not reaching out. And if we could increase deliveries from 60 to 80, that 20% will have a massive revenue impact. So quite interesting. Harry, I have a few questions, which people have asked on the chat, and I'll take some moment out and would, read out the questions and will require your help, with that. So one of the question we have is, does it analyze our own data segment activity or the overall activity of the users with the other brand set too?
Yeah, I mean, we take into consideration of that brands, and we also, our model takes into consideration of all the brands and everything. I mean, all the brands and all past historical data. So we consider everything to increase the delivery rate.
But I hope you are not using any PI information here, just general analytical, statistical information which you are using.
Yeah, so that brought me into like other interesting points. So since laws in Europe and US are more stringent, and their people are more serious, so their businesses have not seen this kind of failure rate and this kind of problems. But this problem is in India. So yeah, we are taken care of, we are compliant, and we are taking care of everything so that your PII information is not being used by any other brand, and only analytic information is being used.
Okay. There's one question from Adler. It says, how is smart auto retry different from queuing?
So it is different in a lot other ways. So in queuing, if you are just in queuing, you are intentionally delaying the deliveries. So for example, if you have a queuing system where you queue those 1 lakh messages, that means those 1 lakh messages will take maybe lot of time to send, and they might not go immediately or within short period of time. But with this particular model, you are in control. Like, let's say 50% of messages can go in the first go, so they will go. Now in the retry mechanism, we are trying those at future. So I mean, with queuing, we are just taking more and more time. So with taking more and more time, we will not be able to deliver those many messages which we are able to deliver this smart retries.
Got it. Okay. There's a question from Anga that says, can this retry feature cause Meta to put restriction on our number for sending multiple times?
So, I mean, in the smart retry feature, yes, we have taken care of it so that it doesn't happen. However, I mean, this is also a model. So, I mean, sometimes it might happen. We have not seen any kind of blocking, but yeah, the max you can expect is maybe a temporary pause or something. But the chances of that happening is even more with manual retries or even running more and more broadcasts. So it is not much to do with retries, but it has to do with how you are using the platform overall.
Okay. And one question is like someone is asking, Ravi is asking that is there any pricing difference in the messaging? Like if I'm like retrying, am I paying more versus when I'm not?
So retry is absolutely free. There is nothing, and there are no extra charge for those retry. So if your message delivers in one go, you pay the same amount. And if we try it 5 times and it gets delivered after 5th retry, still you pay the same amount for that particular message.
So you're saying that the meta charges apply only when it's successfully delivered, even if like I'm trying
Yes,
it. Okay.
yes, Meta charges only at the deliveries, and at the same time, we at QuickReply also charge when messages are like getting delivered, and we are also not charging for those failed retries.
Interesting. So the brands don't have to pay anything extra for this. It's just all
Yes,
like they would have paid the same if every message would have delivered versus if every message would have gets delivered with this solution, right?
yes, exactly.
In cool. Okay. There's one question from Brinda. She's asking which has resulted into a better ROAS, ML retrial or manual?
This is interesting. So here we see, I mean, a different kind of broadcast, different kind of campaign will have different. Uh, ML retrial is always slightly better. Sometimes it is much better. So if your sample size is very, very small, if you are running broadcast for a few thousands or maybe 10,000 only, uh, the smart retry might not be way better. But as your your campaign size grows, it goes into lakhs, then you see the difference and it starts performing better and better.
Okay. Uh, One question from Anita is, can I specify how many number of times I want system to retry? Like, is there a max? Like, I don't want my model to try maybe more than 5 times.
So right now there are two models. Either you specify automated. In that case, model will decide. So in automated retry, it is not retrying entire batch again and again. It is only trying in small batches till and we are like automatically adjusting based on the delivery rates. So in the smart auto retry, that option is not available. I think for this particular use case, manual retry is best suited, where you can specify this time you want to retry and then this time you want to retry.
Yep. Okay. So you're saying that if there someone wants a restriction, then it's better to go with manual approach because the ML
Yeah.
model anyways adapts to it by like you mentioned that it sends out smaller batches initially to understand if the deliveries are happening as per the estimation, and then it scales up or scales down.
Yes, exactly.
Right. There's a follow-up question from Vrinda. As a communication and marketing channel, does QuickReply also look into customer support? If so, what is the time frame in which an agent can respond? We have seen that we cannot respond to customers or send them messages after 12 to 24 hours have passed once a customer has stopped responding.
So yes, there is a restriction, although this is a bit unrelated, but yeah, I will take this up. So Meta has this limit, and for that, I will go into the categories of messages. So there are 4 categories of messages: marketing messages, utility messages, then authentication, and the fourth is a service category. Okay, so the charges for marketing is highest. So if user has stopped responding and you still want to send them a message, within 24 hours, there is no restriction. You can freely type your message and send a message. You can send any message. So that comes under service category. Once 24 hours has passed, then you cannot take over and send those freehand text messages. You have to use one of the template messages. Either it can be utility or it could be the marketing template. So yes, there is a way you can send a utility or marketing message, and our platform allows you to send that message just with the click of the button. So you can configure that this is your follow-up messages you want to send if user has stopped responding. But that message is simply asking user to reply so that you can further continue the conversation.
Thanks. So I'll just add something, Vrinda, here. Yes, as a communication platform, QuickReply has a live chat solution where you see all your chats. You can take over chats and reply. Like Harry mentioned and you also mentioned, there is a 24 hours limit under which you need to reply for a free flowing text. But I'll just tell you the ways other brands manage that and how we recommend it. If 24 hours has also paused, normally you would require a template message to reinitiate a chat. You can always have very textual messages like, you can say, hey, this is Himanshu from QuickReply. Are you available for the quick chat now? Just that, with a question mark. This simple text, or you can have multiple variations of it. Like you could have 10 different variations on how you, as an agent, customer support agent, would want to reinitiate a chat. That works phenomenally well for most of my customers, and it also feels more personal because we try to not use any buttons there, any sort of a formatting, a very textual sort of a messaging. And people, as soon as the person says, okay, yes, sometimes they just repeat their query, and then the conversation window opens up, and you can reinitiate. And it's actually a restriction from Meta, and it's everywhere. Like in Instagram also, you'll have this similar 24 hours window. Okay, let me see what other questions are left. There's a question from Darshit. For broadcast, it makes sense as it's a one-time campaign. But how can you help with automatic campaigns like abandoned checkout recovery? I think the question is, I'll repeat for everyone. For bulk messaging, this retry mechanism helps, the ML-based ones and the manual one. But what happens to my event-based campaigns? Like abandonment happened on the website and now there's an abandoned cart journey sequence.
So since in case of campaigns like abandoned cart sequence, there is already a sequence. It is not just a single message. So currently we are not applying this smart retries on campaigns. And the reason is abandoned cart journey might have a sequence of messages. So if one gets failed, instead of retrying same message after 24 or after a certain time, there is another message which is scheduled at that particular time. So it is mostly taken care by that. Similarly, those messages are time sensitive as well. So for example, we try to send a delivery update, but that failed. Then it might make sense to send that via SMS instead of sending it after 2 or 3 days. So we have not applied that for campaigns, but yeah, we are still talking to customers and taking feedback on how it can be extended to campaigns as well.
Sure, you're saying that you're open to understand the requirements. You mentioned that if it's already a sequence of messages, then already retries are happening in a way. But if it's a
Yes.
one-time message, it's there could be two situations. It's a time crucial message or not. So, like for the time crucial messages, I understand it makes sense to probably revert to the other channels like SMS and email in case of failures. But for the non-crucial one, can we is there a plan in the roadmap to have this handled?
Yes, we are discussing with customers and taking feedback on how this can be implemented. But yeah, it is in our roadmap.
Okay, great. There's one question from our existing customers. We are on your standard plan. We only see manual retry on the dashboard. Which plan do I need to be in to get this AI based ML retries?
Currently this feature is in beta and we are slowly rolling out to customers. So I will recommend you to reach out to our support and or your POC and we'll take it from there.
Great. Cool. I think most of the questions are there. Anyone has any questions? I mean, this is a good time you can ask. I'm also like scrolling through to figure out what is left. There's a question from Darshat. He's asking if delivery messages are approved in utility. Are utility messages prone to failures?
So no, I mean failure can happen for a variety of reasons. This is not the only reason. User level capping applies only to the marketing messages, but messages can fail for other reasons. For example, what user has not installed the WhatsApp or user has not accepted terms of condition of WhatsApp, maybe, or they are using some older version of WhatsApp. So there could be variety of reasons for message failure.
Okay, thanks. I think we are done with the questions and we are well on time. So everyone, like the solution, we are rolling it out to our existing customers. So those who are attending and are a customer already, they will see this soon. If you need a quick access to it, reach out to your customer support. We'll see if this plan is available in your current plan or not. For those who are here for the first time and are not yet a customer, and if messages failure is a big problem for you, it's causing your revenue losses. If you are willing to meet your quarterly goals and WhatsApp seems like a good channel, do reach out to us. Let us see how we can work together. And brands have already seen 50-60% sort of a recovery happening, and it's quite early for us. Like the solution has been up for 1 month right now, and yeah, but we have seen 50% recoveries, and we are expecting a better sort of a deliveries. And having said that, since now less number of promotion messages go to your customers, if you could increase your delivery volume, like you will be under those lucky brands who are reaching out to customer on WhatsApp, while rest of your competitors will move to SMS or emails. So if you take this bet and try to increase your deliveries on WhatsApp, it might get you way higher ROIs than your competitors, and then like in all our fights, like this way you can have a better winning chances. So I'm leaving my email and Harry's email here. You can just drop an email to us. We'll love to talk to you. If you have any other parallel sort of a requirements, happy to work. We normally work with our customers very closely, create their solutions, build solutions for them, sometimes customize the platforms for them as well. So do reach out to us. We learn from our customers and happy to spend more time understanding and achieving the goals which you have.
Absolutely,
Thanks,
Himanshu. Thanks for your insightful contribution, and appreciate everyone for joining the session with us.
Thanks, Harry, for coming here and taking us through the entire solutioning part. I hope it helps the customers, and yeah, looking forward to more delivery volumes on WhatsApp and higher revenues for our customers. Great, guys. Thanks for joining in. I hope you all have a very, very great weekend. And let's stay in touch. You can search any of us on LinkedIn and we can stay connected. Thank you so much.